Hello veg lovers and welcome back to my channel. Today is exciting. We're sort of early March. The weather is gorgeous, really warm. Daffodils have come out. Everything feels really nice and spring-like. So today is seed growing, seed planting, and some will be outside. Carrots will be put outside today, and inside I will be growing quite a few different vegetables on my seed trays. So let's get to it. Hi guys, I'm in my little potting shed, or potting room should I say, upstairs, and I'm looking what I'm going to be sowing today. I've got a list as long as my arm, so whether I actually do all this now or spread it out amongst over the month, I'm not sure yet. But I've got things like I need to be planting beetroot, obviously salad leaves, things like that. I was going to do perpetual spinach and some radish watermelon, celery blush, potatoes. I'm going to put some of those in today. Sugar snap peas, I'll be planting them direct. Same with the carrot, the black nebula, they'll be planted direct. The rest are really herbs and things. I've got oregano, purslane. Then I'm looking at basil, coriander, parsley, oregano, I think I've got already, cumin, dill, garlic chives, mint, sage and thyme. So that's a lot of herbs to get underway and get going. So let's get to it. Right, I found this little growing container I had a few years ago, and it's really more for longer root trainers. But I thought there's plenty of little holes in this. This will be perfect because I haven't got that many seed trays in which to plant things in. So I sort of have to try and work out what's the best use, I suppose, of the space I've got here. Because I don't want hundreds of them and loads of them, so I've got nowhere to put them. So, you know, I've got to try and work out what goes where and it'll fit in a smaller space. And I'm not growing hundreds of each like I've said before. But in this particular one, I thought I'll put some of the salad onto here, because I was going to, I mean, some of the salad ones I'll be growing outside later anyway, but I thought I'll just start a few off inside, then they can go into the areas that are going to be blank for a while. And then I've also got perpetual spinach, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing with that and put a few in here as well and grow them on, put them outside then in perhaps a few weeks, and then they'll be ready for the next batch. So this is hopefully the only time I'll probably plant. Imagine then again, I think I might plant these indoors a bit more often, because sometimes when you're planting seeds outside, and if they take longer to germinate than others, sometimes you're going to get weeds coming up. And if you're a bit of a novice like me and you're not quite sure what the actual plant's supposed to look like when it's growing, you can get a bit confused and you can end up with loads of weeds in between your plants. Or you end up taking up the plants and not the weeds, one way or the other. So if you grow them a little bit inside, so they're a particular length, not only do you actually see what they're supposed to look like for future plantings, you also can just plant them straight in, knowing that everything else in there is weeds, and just get them out. So that's the plan. So these little spinach, these spinach seeds are really perpetual spinach. This is not true spinach. I did try growing true spinach once and I did have a slight issue. It did bolt, and I know that is a problem with spinach. So I thought perpetual spinach will do for me now. But just look at these little seeds. They are fabulous. They remind me, you know, the little knobbly seeds. If you can see them there, they're knobbly seeds. And they're very similar to a beetroot. But we'll put them in. We'll pop them in. I don't know how many I'm going to grow. I don't think probably. What we do that one? Put in that one. So we'll put in. Let's have a look. Let's try. So I can transplant these pretty quickly outside, so it's not really a problem. We'll have a row here. For the salad leaves, I'm just going to sprinkle a few on and I'll thin them out as they grow. Okay, in this tray I've got here, I'm going to grow radish and beetroot. Like I say, the trays are not huge, there's not a load in them. I've only got 12 spaces to grow things. So I'm going to start up, I'm going to do 6 radish and 6 beetroot. And this is just to start off. And then obviously I can do successional planting after that. So once these are big enough to go out, I'll put the 6 out and then I'll grow 6 more and then put them out. So hopefully it will continue. If I can find space for them, of course. Radish, watermelon radish seeds. Now, so what these look like. So they're an easy size to deal with. They're not overly tiny. So we can put 6 in there, no problem. And when it comes to the beetroot, and no doubt most of you have seen what beetroot seeds look like before. They're like smaller versions, I suppose, of spinach seeds that will look very similar to these, except obviously bigger. So we'll put these in. It's just to give me an early start on these, really. I mean, I would have planted these just straight out next month probably, but if this gives me an early start, I can perhaps plant them somewhere where something else would need to go later. Right, the next one, I'm going to do the tomatoes here. Now, I'm going to put all the tomatoes in this because obviously I'm not growing loads of tomatoes. The most tomatoes I'll be growing will be the tumbling toms. So I want probably 6 of them. So I'm going to do hanging baskets, 3 of each. So they're going to take up 6 of these. So that leaves me 6 left, which will be the organic tomato coralic and the organic tomato green zebra. So I'll just do 3 of those each. I don't need 3 actually, I probably only need 2 of each. It depends what I'm doing with these, because I'm going to try to grow 1 under cover. The other 2 will be out in the open. So I was wondering whether to hold off planting these for another month, really, for the ones that are going to go outside. But I thought, well, I'll just carry on growing them inside for now, and I can just keep potting them up until the risk of frost is gone, and then I'll put them outside. So let's do the tumbling toms first. I'll do the 3 aubergine on the bottom, and I'll do 9 celery. Now, I know these are going to be tiny seeds as well, aren't they? All planted up for this month. And then we go outside now to plant the ones that are going to be, well, sow the seeds that are outside, and potatoes. Now, I'm thinking of, with the potatoes, of putting not all of them out. I think I'll save the Maris Piper and put them in at the end of the month, maybe at the beginning of April. Hopefully I've got enough room for all these now. Right, well, these are the seeds I'm going to take outside now to plant. So I've got the purslane, I've got the red spring onion, which is a strong one. I have got the carrot black nebula and the sugar snap peas. And I will also be taking out Charlotte potatoes to plant this week. I think I'll stagger them. I'll do Charlotte potatoes this week. I'll do the Vivaldi next week. And then the week after, when we're at the end of March, I'll do the Maris Pipers as the main crop. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But whilst I'm here upstairs, I'll need to show you how the hydroponic system is going. So let me just show you that. Okay. As you can see, the hydroponic system is doing really well. We've got tomato at the back there doing well. All of them are growing well. Cumin, thyme, parsley, oregano. Basil's just getting going really with the oregano, because they're a little bit slower they were to replant those. Coriander, one coriander is doing better than the other, strangely. The one at the back is sort of really taking off, where the one at the front is just taking its time. But they're all growing well. The dill has really taken off well there, and I sort of, it's difficult really because it's sort of hiding the garlic chives at the back, but they're still growing. So all these are growing really well. I mean, I could actually, you know, even start picking a few of these to put on a salad and things. So I'm really pleased with those. The chilies that I planted, the seeds, I got sort of one that came through, which is that one, and then this one sort of didn't. It's sort of like the end rotted off, that one, so it didn't really do anything. None of the others came through at all, so I've only got one. I've done that. I could have like left them a little longer, but because this one was growing well, I had to take the top off anyway. But one will be fine, because then I can use the seeds from that one hopefully next year, which will provide probably a bit more, a better sprouting. The yellow peppers that I planted, they're doing well. I've just sort of repotted them up into their own individual little pots now, so they're out of the way there, and we'll just keep them in those pots for the time being, and hopefully they will go into their main destination in another month or so. But everything's looking fine up here. And now of course we've got seeds that have been planted. So these are my seeds for now, and my sort of spider light, which will keep the light on them at an even, so they grow virtually upright and not to one side. And then hopefully next month we'll grow some new seeds and some of these can go outside. But for now, let's go outside anyway. Okay, so these shallots, I'll just keep that safe somewhere to put it on there. I'm going to plant these at the bottom, so I'm going to sort of get it right at the bottom with a few inches spare. Just see where my hand's going. How far down? Yeah, okay, so we'll go there. So I can put one in there. That's fine. I'll put one around here. It's not bad to have different layers, to be honest, so they have their own space. I'm going to put one at the bottom of here, and a little one I'll put in the middle. There we go. Hopefully they'll be fine. I can put a little bit more compost in this and they grow out, but they might be fine. Right, I've got to now look at my plan to look where I'm planting these other seeds. It just saves labelling, to be honest, because if you stick to your plan and stick to the tubs where they're going, you haven't got to label everything. You know it's there, then you just look at your plan. So we'll start off with the carrots. Right, I've just done 3 little drills here with my finger to where they're going to go. Make sure we take out any weeds on the way. So there's my drill, and I'm just going to gently sparsely put these along the drill. We'll probably have to thin them out anyway. Now, there we go. Then I'll just cover them over. And I'll water them in. Now next to them I have got, well, I planted the broad beans last month, but I am not sure what I've got of broad beans coming through, or if anything's going to happen, because I did find sort of a large hole in the middle of this where something's obviously been in and digging them and probably eating them. So we'll have to see if anything comes of these or not, or I will have to plant either a later crop or something else in this position, so we'll see. But at the moment, that is what it looks like, so I don't know, we'll see. Okay, this is tub number 9. So, tub number 9 on my plan is the red spring onions. So I'm just going to scatter these in and hope these grow all right. I mean, the green ones will go next to them, probably next month, so I can get a good scattering. So let's just scatter them over. I'll put a few in because I can always take out and thin out if they get too many. Here we go. Let's just smooth that over a little bit, and they're done. Nothing more simple than that. Right, and this number is 24, this one, and in this one it's going to be the sugar snap peas. So let me just move a little bit of the soil over so I can cover it slightly afterwards. I'll just take it out a little bit. Pop that there. Just pop a little out so I can cover it. Now, sugar snap peas, these need to be protected by everything really. I mean, the birds love them, my dog loves them. It's just really, I'm just going to put a few out, then I'm going to space them out properly in a moment. Let's see how we go. Let's sort of space them out. You're supposed to space them in a zigzag design, but we're in a pot here, so it's sort of wherever they go really. I can always thin them out. It's better to have too many than not enough, I always say. I put them out sort of level like that, and then what I'm going to do is cover them. Them down pretty well. Then I need some kind of cover or protection or something to stop the birds getting at them and the dog getting at them until they're a decent size. So I was going to see now what I can use. The last thing for planting outside today is the purslane. So this is just a matter of making sure as many weeds are out as possible, as there is a few grown again, and we're just going to scatter and cover, and then we'll thin them out as they grow. Just give that a little water, and we'll see how they grow. There we go. So this is how the garden's looking at the moment, which you could say bare, but it's nice to see the little daffodils have come through. The pond's had a bit of a clean, so it looks a little bit better than it did before. we have got leaves coming on the blueberries, which is lovely to see. The other daffodils here are looking good. They're coming through. It's just nice to get that little bit of colour in your garden at this time of year. Got the rosemary there, and we can see that the plum tree is budding. Let's hope that we've sorted out the aphid problem. I have my doubts, but we'll hope. Because they love, you know, it's nice to see at this time of year everything budding and growing. There are some chives there from a couple of years ago now that are growing. Oh, it's starting to get even. Oh, this is nice. On the black currant bush that I planted a couple of weeks ago, that's even starting to bud now, which that's good. So it's alive at least, so that's a good thing. At the top of the garden, we've still got the garlic coming through lovely. The onions over the other side, some of them I think have got a bit of frost damage, but okay. Red onions seem to be taking for a long time to come through. So I don't know if the dog destroyed them or whether they're just taking their time, I don't know. We'll see how these young strawberries go on. They look like they've had a little bit of frost damage too. I think I need to get the weeder out again for these, as we seem to have sticky willies growing. Although you can eat sticky willies, they're apparently a medicinal herb, so, but really don't want them in the strawberries. We've got buds coming on the raspberry, which is good. The apple is also starting to get a few buds. So I think for this time of year, which is still not quite in mid-March yet, I think everything's looking good. Everything's in the position it should be. It'll be lovely to see in a couple of months' time, when things start to get growing, perhaps May, June, the garden will look totally different again. I'm looking forward to that so much. Although not exactly exciting at the moment, the garden, because there's not a lot growing in it, hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months you'll see a total transformation of this, and things will be growing. It'll look a little bit more lush, or it might look like a jungle, as the case may be. We will see. But thank you for watching this week. Hopefully see you again in the next video. Thank you for being so patient, because gardening is obviously not a quick thing, and I'll see you soon. Bye, veg lovers.